Now at 6, the Quapaw Nation is asking for more people to become foster parents. Plus, prosecutors announced plans to file charges against a former police chief involved in a raid on a Kansas newspaper. And
the Miners Hall Museum joins a program that will help the site continue to keep preserving the history of Southeast Kansas. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Quapaw Nation is in dire need of foster parents for children. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Carissa Millard is the Indian Child Welfare Director for Quapaw Nation and says they're having an extra hard time finding homes for teenagers. Quapaw Nation is looking for tribal foster parents who will help kids with their mental health journey and keep them connected to their culture.
A lot of the kids that we see that are teenagers have really seen a lot of trauma and have been through a lot, and they really haven't had someone there to kind of help them figure out how to deal with those traumas. So when we're looking at homes, that's what we really want.
Willard says it's very rewarding for foster parents to see the growth of their foster child. Potential foster parents must be at least 21 and complete a home study before they accept the child into their home. It's still hot out there. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney.
Looking pretty good. We've got maybe a cloud or two out there. Temperature is getting up to 96 degrees right now. We've also got winds out of the west. Temperatures across the region 99 in Independence, Newscast, Sedan, 100 in Yates Center. So these are actual temperatures. Getting pretty warm out there. Now, we unfortunately still have another day of hot temperatures, heat advisory up to tomorrow 9 p.m. for our counties out in Oklahoma. Likely we'll see a few more pop up, especially in these southern counties, maybe up to Pittsburgh, Joplin, Independence, Parsons out there. That will come a little bit later tonight or early tomorrow morning, but temperatures are still going to be hot through tomorrow evening. Luckily we cool off after that. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
See you soon. Tomorrow is Election Day for Kansas and Missouri. Voters in both states will decide primary elections featuring a variety of races, including state and local offices, as well as some tax issues. Polling places in Missouri open at 6 a.m. and will remain open until 7 p.m. In Kansas, they'll be open from 7 to 7. You'll be able to find results as they come in tomorrow on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. 2 special prosecutors said they plan to charge a former Central Kansas police chief over his conduct following a raid last year on his town's newspaper. It stems from an August 2023 police raid on the Marion County Record and the home of its publisher. Prosecutors say former Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody obstructed justice by withholding information from investigators. Authorities also say the newspaper and its staff committed no crimes. School year is about to begin again, which means school buses will soon become a regular sight in traffic. Students and parents in Carthage will get a chance to learn about the district's bus routes and procedures tomorrow. The school bus information night will also include a bus tour, a safety lesson on and around the bus, and a meeting with the district's transportation team.
It's important because I know that the younger kids leaving home for maybe the first time, it's got to be a little bit scary for them. So if we can do anything to get them a little bit comfortable, that's what we're going to shoot for.
That event's going to run from 4 to 7 p.m. tomorrow at the Carthage High School Commons and is available to all students in the district and their parents. Student musicians are also preparing for the upcoming school year. Pittsburgh High School is hosting a camp for its marching band. Today they practice at Hutch Field near Pittsburgh Community Middle School. The PHS band camp runs through Friday, which is capped off with a performance for parents at 5:30 p.m. Coming up, a Southeast Kansas museum takes part in a program to better preserve local history. Plus, the Riverton, Kansas All-Stars look to keep their Little League World Series hopes alive, taking on the champs from Minnesota. The Franklin, Kansas Miners Hall Museum is proud to help showcase the history of Southeast Kansas, but they want to make sure they are preserving it too. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how the museum staff hopes a federal program will help them protect the past.
My
grandparents were miners. My father worked on Big Brutus, so I grew up on a coal camp, Daisy Hill.
Southeast Kansas mining history, as well as early families, is showcased all throughout the Miners Hall Museum, drawing thousands of visitors a year, such as this group from Italy. Susan Bester helps walk visitors through all the different displays, helping to answer any questions they may have.
It's really rewarding, especially when someone finds a name in the library or find what they did and what the day-to-day things were for the family. People are always excited when they discover, and it might be good, it might be bad, you just never know.
But the Miners Hall Museum wants to do more than just showcase history. They hope to preserve it. That's why museum staff applied for the Collection Assessment for Preservation program, also known as CAPS, a federally run program that helps different sites learn what steps they can do to improve their preservation efforts. Only 71 sites were chosen across the country.
It's an assessment program, and it will help us evaluate our museum and what we're doing correctly, what we're doing incorrectly. It will give us some guidance, and we were very excited to be accepted for that program.
The museum was one of only 14 in the nation to receive data loggers that will be used to measure the temperature and humidity of certain exhibits. Museum staff say the information they learn from these data loggers will help tell them what steps they may need to take to help preserve certain artifacts.
There's so many things that go along with preserving the artifacts, that whether it's temperature, whether it's the lighting, there's just a lot that goes into it. It's just not, you don't just put a name on something and stick it on a shelf. And each item, whether it's paper, cloth, whatever it is made of, requires some different type of care.
And the museum staff say their acceptance into the program couldn't have come at a better time as they plan for an expansion of the site.
This will give us a lot of guidance in what we need to do and plan for in that new building by showing us what we're doing correctly and incorrectly currently.
And for Susan, who loves showcasing the area's history, she's excited that the artifacts that matter to visitors will be able to exist for years to come.
It's amazing that we had so many people who had the foresight to save these artifacts.
Reporting in Franklin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Miners Hall Museum staff say they hope to receive a final report on the results of the program in the beginning of next year. Hey Kansans, listen up. Now is the time for your voice to be heard in regards to the look of your license plate. The Kansas Department of Revenue opened its voting on new personalized license plate designs. There are 5 distinctive design options for Kansans to choose among. Voting is open until Friday at 5 p.m. You can find a link to the poll on our website, again, KOAMnewsnow.com. A little bit later, the Riverton All-Stars survived elimination from the Little League World Series yesterday. We're going to find out if they could do it again today.
And we've got one more hot day before temperatures start to cool down. We'll talk about it right after the break. It was a hot day today, but humidity's not so high. That's the only good thing we've got about these hot temperatures. Taking a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, we do have a nice little breeze. Unfortunately, it's from the south, so that's why we're having these warmer temperatures today and tomorrow. Winds shift, and then we're going to have some cooler temperatures for the rest of the week. We don't have any rain chances in our area. You can see most of the Midwest is pretty dry. We do have a hurricane made landfall moving up the East Coast. They're getting a lot of rain. Even I saw a couple tornadoes out there, but we've got mostly just heat to deal with this week. So we've got heat advisories for a few counties out in Oklahoma. That's due to heat indices getting up to about 105 through tomorrow evening. So that heat advisory continues until about 9 p.m. on Tuesday, and we'll likely see a few more popping up, especially in our southern counties, possibly getting up to Independence, Sedan, Pittsburgh, Joplin. Those heat indices tomorrow reaching about 103, maybe even a little higher, but we do have higher temperatures tomorrow, but still relatively low humidity. And we also have a boundary pushing in, so you can see that line of moisture. It's a cooler air mass, but we're not getting any rain from it. Normally when we have those frontal boundaries, we get storms popping up, but we're not going to see that this boundary as it moves in. But we are going to see a drop in temperatures. and a rise in humidity. But with the drop in temperatures, it won't affect us too much. So you can see that boundary completely makes its way across our area Tuesday evening. We are seeing those higher humidity, but moving into Wednesday, humidity about 40%, 45%. So it's going to be a little bit higher, but temperatures will be cooler. So we're going to take a look. Temperatures on Tuesday. This is right as you can see that boundary moving in. You can see the winds, how they're shifting from the southwest to out of the north. And you can see the boundary, but temperatures are still making it up to upper 90s, even reaching triple digits. This is actual temperature. So the actual temperature in the southern counties, 101 in Neosho, Miami, Welsh, Nowata, 102, 103 in Veneta. So everywhere south of Joplin, Oswego, getting into about 100-degree weather. Joplin's only getting up to about 98, 99, maybe pushing 100. Luckily, as that boundary makes its way through, temperatures cool off down to mid to upper 80s on Wednesday. So we just have to make it through one more hot day up to about 100 degrees in those southern counties, boundary right about Joplin, and those northern counties upper 90s. It's going to be winds shifting by the afternoon, so we're seeing that cooler air mass moving in just after the high temperatures on Tuesday. Next chance we'll see for some rain, going to be Thursday morning, 6 a.m. We'll see a few showers pushing in, isolated showers. We're not going to see a lot of accumulation, but it may be nice just to have a little bit of rain. We've had a nice dry spell for the last week or so. So we've got a couple of rain chances Thursday, Friday. Those drop in temperatures, upper 80s, mid 80s, all the way through the weekend. And then we have a little bit more heftier chance of rain next week. And we see those chances continue for majority of the week with scattered showers.
Yeah, once we get into August, we look at the prospect of highs only in the 80s. That sounds really good.
I'm going to enjoy it while I can, because unfortunately temperatures warm right back up next week.
That tends to happen around here. Thanks, Lindsay. Hey, while we're dealing with the usual summer heat, parts of southwest Missouri are also seeing some haze in the sky. As Nick Kelly reports, health officials want you to be aware of how that could impact your health.
This week started out with plenty of sunshine. However, areas of haze and smoke caught the eye of meteorologist Brandon Beck this morning.
Several of our cameras this morning, specifically Mountain Home and Lebanon, even the one in Springfield, you could just see sort of this, haze came to mind at first, this white tint to the sky.
Two culprits are in play. First, the wildfires in the western United States, especially the Park Fire in California. Second, our upper-level high centered over the central United States is keeping us hot to start the week out. Brandon says that position is also key for the haze.
That corridor of smoke follows right there along the jet, strongest winds, and we're on the edge of the high. So some of it comes around and spills south, but that's why it's so thin here.
While the smoky haze may be thin, it's enough to decrease the air quality at a monitor installed at Hillcrest High School. One medical expert says even some haze can impact some people.
It's just going to be mild symptoms like nose, throat, eye irritation, watery, burning eyes, sneezing. But it can also cause coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath.
Dr. Bomberry with Mercy says young people, pregnant women, older adults, and immunocompromised people can be most affected by bad air quality and smoky haze. Ways to combat this starts with limiting time outside.
Stay inside. Keep the window shut because those fine particles can go through screens. If you have an air filtration system built onto your HVAC system, that can help. Or even if you just have one set up in one room in your house, try to spend the bulk of your time there. And then just know to watch for those symptoms.
Still ahead, the preseason top 25 rankings are released for Division I college football. And the Riverton 12U All-Stars try to stave off elimination for the second day in a row. John Dale says those stories and more coming up next.
The Riverton 12U All-Stars lost their first game in the Midwest Region Tournament, but stayed alive afterwards, beating Nebraska in an elimination game yesterday evening. This morning, they're on the brink of elimination again, facing the Minnesota State champions. Riverton All-Stars in an elimination game for the second day in a row, facing the state champs from Minnesota, and fall behind early. This passed ball allows Minnesota to score the first run of the game in the first inning. Riverton responds though, bottom one. Jed Pillar rips a base hit down the line into left field. That's 2 unanswered runs, and it gives the Kansas State champs the lead. Riverton enters the fourth with a 4-2 lead, but things go south from there. This RBI single puts Minnesota in front 6-4. They're not finished yet. Another run scores on another bloop single. That makes it 10-4. Minnesota would score 10 runs in the bottom of the fourth alone. Bottom of the inning, this helps the comeback effort. Nolan Rogers blasts a solo home run over the fence in left center. But that big deficit facing Riverton proves to just be a little bit too much. The Riverton All-Stars season ends in the Midwest Region Tournament as one of the last 6 teams standing. Final score 16-6. Now Riverton is eliminated from that regional, but Webb City still remains alive and well. The Missouri State champs are one of 2 teams yet to lose a game. They face South Dakota Wednesday at 11 a.m. That's a game you can watch on ESPN. Win or lose, Webb City is guaranteed to play at least one more game, either Thursday or Friday. Now, college football season less than a month away. We get a step closer to kickoff this morning as the preseason FBS coaches poll gets released. Now, here's the top half of the preseason top 25. No surprise to see perennial powerhouses Georgia and Ohio State at 1 and 2. Big expectations this year for Missouri. The Tigers entered the season as the number 11 team in the country after going 11 and 2 in 2023. Here's the second half of the top 25. Oklahoma ranked 16 to begin the year 3 under Brett Venables. They're first as a member of the SEC. 3 of the Big 12 teams in the area follow suit. Kansas State right behind OU at 17. Then Oklahoma State is number 18, and Kansas is the number 24 team in the preseason coaches poll. Over to professional football, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reports today the Chiefs and place kicker Harrison Butker have agreed to a long-term extension. It's reported to be 4 years, $25.6 million, which is $17 million of it is guaranteed. The 29-year-old Butker is now the highest paid kicker in the league. He surpasses Jake Elliott and Justin Tucker's average salaries of $6 million per year. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. We're going to hear more from the Pittsburgh High School Marching Band at its practice today. Plus, what parents need to know about the impact of discipline on children in school. And 24 drivers make history as they start their careers in real-life driving by using esports to get there. Those stories, a lot more, of course, it's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Hang in there. We have to get through a bit more hot weather, but then relief is in sight.
Just one more day of high temperatures. Possible alert day for Tuesday, just to high temps and high heat indices. But a boundary moves in Tuesday evening, dropping those temperatures down to mid to upper 80s for the rest of the weekend.
Sounds great. Final sports note.
With college football season getting closer, Missouri Southern opens fall camp this morning. We're going to have more on them tomorrow.
I love talking football.
Yeah, I do too.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.